Hi, I'm Teresa Lisum, coming to you with my amazing guest co-host, Stacy Mulligan, and we're evolving women. I'm evolving, you're evolving, we're all evolving, and we're here to evolve together. And our mission is to infuse the world with uplifting messages, new, fresh perspectives, empowering tools, lots of resources, from wellness ideas to mindset shifts to self-belief strategies and everything in between. We're dedicated to being just a reservoir of inspiration for you. So please join us and consider this your official permission to embrace your best life and thrive and evolve with us. So welcome, everybody. Welcome to Evolving Women with my amazing guest co-host, the Stacy Mulligan. This is actually the second episode. If you didn't see episode 1, you definitely want to go check that out. But we're going to continue the conversation. And I'd like to pose a question. Would you rather die than speak in public? Because evidently there's a lot of people in the world that would prefer death than speaking in public, which is really sad when you think about it.
Yes, definitely.
So Stacy was just telling me that she is a speaker. She's been trained as a speaker. She's a keynote speaker, which means the main person, the biggie, the big name. And she's has stage fright. So I'm going to let you share about that, Stacy, if you would, please.
Yes, so a few years ago, I would rather have died than stood up in front of people and spoken. I would actually get sick to my stomach, so much so that I would not be able to eat prior to having to stand up in front of people. I was so nervous. I mean, you can't even describe how nervous I was. I mean, sick to my stomach, right? That's pretty nervous.
Yeah.
But once I got up there and started talking, I was fine. But I think what's happened and how I've overcome it, and it's not that I've fully overcome it because I'm always nervous a little bit before I go on to speak. However, because I just kept doing it, that's how it got easier.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it starts with the simplest thing, which could be a lot of people's barriers, which is, oh, I don't want to do video. No, I don't want to do video. I'm not going to put a video of myself out there.
Mhm.
Well, I've got bad news for you, kids. You've got to. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And I actually have looked at a lot of my past videos that might have come up, and I can see the fear in my eyes.
Mm.
I can see I'm stoic. I'm
Oh.
I'm thinking. You can tell that I'm thinking
Mm-hmm.
rather than just being. And what triggered me to continue and to do this was really the fact of I realized I had something that could help people, but
Mm.
I can't help anybody if I'm not out there.
Love that.
And that it isn't about me when I'm up there because I was so focused on me. Oh, what if this? And oh, how am I going to sound? What am I going to say? Am I going to mess it up? Will I forget? What do I look like? I mean, that's definitely one of our main things. Is
Yeah.
that what I really look like? Is that what I really sound like?
Yeah.
And, get over it because that's what people already see when they're looking at you. That's what they already see. You're the only one that's like, oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
Yes, really. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just you're not used to it. You're not used to hearing yourself or
That
seeing
is
yourself
true.
like that. So that pushed me to just do it. And now I get up on stages and I speak to the masses, and it's the only way to get the message out, whatever the message is. And so, but I'm always a little nervous.
I love that. I'm not a speaker yet,
There
but
you
even
go.
starting this, hitting the record button or, just that initial first couple of seconds or minute or two. And then once I get going, I'm fine. But
Right.
but I just applaud and appreciate the fact that you kept showing up, kept showing up, kept showing up. You knew your message was important and it was going to help somebody,
Right.
potentially transform somebody's life, open them up to new possibilities. And it wasn't about you. It was about getting that message out.
Right.
So I think that's so important for people to hear. Like, don't worry about what you look like. Like you said, people see you all the time. So why is
Right.
it going to make a difference right now in this particular moment?
Right.
Like it doesn't matter. I know I did not like the way my voice sounded. I
Mhm.
mean, not that I still do, but hey, that's my voice. And I had to get over myself, basically, is what it was. Like you said, you have to get over yourself and just trust that the message is going to get to somebody who really needs to hear it. They don't care what you look like,
No.
they don't care what you sound like, but they might care what that message is that
Right.
you have to share with them. It might change them totally around
Mhm.
and really impact them in a big way.
Right. Right. And I think to piggyback on that, a lot of people don't think they have a message. I mean, I
Mm,
didn't.
mm,
Oh, I said,
mm,
I don't have a story. That's just
mm-hmm.
that's just my life.
Yep.
That's not anything different or ordinary, out of the ordinary or special. That's just how it was. So I never thought I had a story. And the way I started was taking a course on, it was called What's Your Story? And it was to help you
Mhm.
bring out your story and to put a message in it and weave that in, because storytelling is the best form of
Mhm.
speaking. Because if you have someone who stands on stage and just, gives you facts and figures and goes on with all, yeah, you go, when is this going to be over? But if they start it with a story that resonates with you, maybe just oh, back when, I used to hang out at my grandmother's house and in the
Mhm.
backyard and we used
Mhm.
to, and now all of a sudden you go, oh, yeah, and you lean in and you start
Mhm.
listening, and now the message gets in there and you didn't even realize. But apparently we all have a message, we
Mhm.
all have something to offer, we all have something that we lived through
Yeah.
and
Yep.
that can help somebody else. Just because you got through it and you're done with it or past it doesn't mean that someone isn't struggling with that very same thing right now. Or maybe they've been struggling with it for a long
Mhm.
time and they had
Mhm.
no idea how to navigate or how to get out, or one little tiny nugget can change
Yeah.
somebody's
Yep.
world.
And that's happened to me. One little thing that I
Yeah,
read, or one little sentence or phrase that somebody said
yeah,
in a class or in a presentation, like, oh, like it just hit me
mm,
and I ran with it, or I incorporated it, or it helped me in
yeah.
something else. But yeah, that is so true. I always love to think that there's always a little nugget in whatever I'm learning about.
Well,
Always.
and sometimes it's not even what you think is the main part.
Yeah.
It's just one little tiny detail that you happen to mention, and
Yeah.
that's what the person got from it. And
Yeah.
I that happens to me all the time too. I don't think I have a conversation with anyone ever without taking away something.
Yes. Yeah. That is so
Everyone
true
I
for
talk
me.
to.
Yeah.
For
True for
example, I
me as
stole
well.
an idea from you last time we
Yeah.
spoke.
Well, I mean, that's it's a give and take, and
Yeah,
we take these little pieces, these little gems, and we mix it up into our own way of showing up. So it
right,
comes out a little bit different, which
right,
somebody else might need to hear it in that different way. So if I said it, it may not have resonated with them, but you took it, you did whatever your magic to it, and then they were able to receive it,
right.
and because the way you spoke it.
Hmm. Yeah, and vice versa.
Yeah, I love that. I always use ideas from other people
Oh yeah. And I
all the
even told you
time.
that. I said, "Oh, I'm taking that idea.
Yeah,
That's a
why
brilliant
not?
idea."
Why not? um yeah, I love that you didn't think you had a message. And I was thinking as you were saying that, like, we think we're going through something alone,
Mhm.
so, and we don't think it's important or of value to other people.
Right.
I've heard celebrities say that they were going through some dark time, and they finally came out and started telling their story. And like everybody's like, oh my gosh, like that makes sense. Like people resonate with it more.
Right.
Whereas maybe that person was keeping it under wraps because they were afraid of being judged about it.
Hmm.
And they were the only ones in the world going through that.
Yeah.
No, no, no.
Right.
Somebody's gone through it or is going through it right
Hmm.
now, and they've lived through it. They survived. They made it out on the other side and are better people for it. And they just want to help other people get through that in a faster way.
Yeah, definitely.
I kind of
Definitely.
see us as taking somebody's hand and helping them. You saw me kind of do that with my body,
Uh-huh.
help them over to the
Right.
other side so that they can go on with their lives and progress and do something better, or show up as a better version of themselves or something.
Hmm.
So I think I could say for both of us, we just want to help people get over that bridge, get to the other side. So many people have helped me.
Oh yeah, me too.
I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't
Mhm.
for the help of so many generous, wonderful people. And I want to do the same for others.
Yeah, I mean, I'm made up of like 75% books. It's just all of my favorite things came from a book. And
Hmm.
just like, oh, that one came from here, and oh, that one reminded me of this, and this one taught me that. I like to read. Uh,
Me too. Me
yeah.
too.
But and then, what somebody said or what I saw somebody do. But I feel like the action is where it is. And they always say, step into your fear. And people say, well, why would I want to do that?
Yeah, yeah.
But I didn't want to do that either, trust me. And when I was speaking prior to the last maybe 3 months on subjects that were personal, but not that personal. Not like I didn't feel like it was something that, oh my gosh, what if somebody knew this about me? It was more like,
Hmm.
oh, hey, I struggled with this and then I figured this out. But when I actually spoke on my story of my empty nest journey,
Hmm.
that was one of the hardest things I've ever done. And
Wow.
I was nervous before I spoke, but really I was more nervous about what's going to happen if my son sees this.
Mm.
And what's going to happen if my husband sees this? Because
Mm.
no one knew. No one
Mm.
knew all the inner workings of what was happening inside. They thought they knew, but they didn't really know.
Hmm.
So I feel like when you get more vulnerable on your topic, it's much harder to open up about it. And I opened up.
Mm. The
I opened
floodgates
up.
just opened, huh?
Yeah, I opened up, and the thing is, I received more comments,
Mm.
more feedback, more engagement on that. I made it through, by the way, without crying. But when I watched it after the fact, I cried.
Oh, oh.
But I feel like when you really talk about things that are deep, that's what really connects with people. I mean, I've seen
Hmm.
people speak on addiction, and she told a story of her alcoholism, and she didn't say, oh, hey, I was an alcoholic. She told some deep, vivid stories of what happened to her and what she did to her family. I mean, things that you
Mm.
would not want to tell anybody.
Mm.
But even though I'm not an addict of any kind, well, except for maybe perfectionism and carbs, I could resonate. I could resonate with her story because I thought,
Mm.
wow, that is real. Look at what she did. This is where she was in this deep, dark hole. And now she is out of it. There's hope. There's
Yeah.
hope for me.
So
So,
even though
yeah,
you didn't have the same experiences as her, you still got a lot from it.
absolutely. Absolutely. But I can't even imagine what someone would get if they were living in that
Mhm.
world or
Right,
lived in
right.
that world. And so part of that makes me say, hey, I need to tell the ugly part of my
Hmm.
story,
Hmm.
the weak part of my
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
So yeah.
The part that we're ashamed of,
Right.
for whatever reason, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love when people get vulnerable. I mean, I will say I struggle with that myself. I'm way better than I ever used to be.
Mhm.
But I appreciate when other people are being vulnerable
Yeah.
and they might get emotional or teary-eyed, or they might not because they've shared it so many times, they have been able to detach from the emotions of it. But it just, even like I said, even if it's not some experience I could share with them, just the fact that they're opening up their hearts and their lives to share with us, and it's emotional for them. Like I even get emotional.
Yeah.
And I especially love it when it's a guy. I'm sorry. I just love when
Uh-huh.
guys get teary-eyed and emotional, like, oh my gosh, that is beautiful.
Right. Right. It is. I agree. I agree. Because you're not expecting it, and you're expecting
Exactly.
this stoic person, and then
Exactly. Because they even have it rougher than we do, I think, in terms
right.
of holding it all together,
Yeah.
keeping in their emotions, being that stoic, strong, not vulnerable person.
Right.
And so when they crack open, it's like, oh, it just melts everybody, I think, like, oh. I love
True.
that.
Very, very true. Uh, I agree completely. Any movie that I watch where the main character man is this, sexy man is fabulous, and then he cries like in an emotional part, and I'm like, oh, I love him even more.
Exactly. Exactly. So you hear that, guys?
Pay
Show some
attention, men.
emotion.
I mean, don't cry over like macaroni and cheese, but
Right.
have a moment with, a puppy, a baby, your
Yeah,
wife,
yeah,
just
yeah.
just a
Yeah,
moment.
it's a beautiful thing. It certainly is.
Hmm.
And I just want to quickly, first of all, two things I wanted to come back to is you to come back to your speaking, you kept doing it, and the more you did it, it became easier. And I think as adults, we forget. As children, they do that all the time, like I saw my little granddaughter learn how to play softball earlier in the year. And they started from zero. They had no clue what the ball was, nothing.
Right,
And
right,
so they had to learn over the season. So by the end, she's like, no, here, you do this. And she's trying to tell us what to do. But we forget as adults that we have to learn from that beginning point as well. And we have to practice. And it does become easier. She had to practice. It became easier. So she became more confident as the season, came to an end. But I
right.
think as adults, we forget that.
We do, we do. And it's so easy not to do it. It's
Hmm.
like the one of my favorite books, The Slight Edge.
Oh, yeah.
It
Love
talks,
that. Love
yeah,
that.
it talks about it's easy to do, but it's also easy not to do.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
what I did to myself in order to make myself accountable to do something that I was very afraid of is I decided I was going to make one video a week and post it
Mhm.
on YouTube, and that
Mhm.
it would have to be done every Tuesday. Every
Mm.
Tuesday I would put one up, and by the end of the year I would have 52 videos. And I mean,
Mhm.
my gosh, that's a lot of videos, right? And that's how I started. And let me tell you, there were some Monday nights and Tuesday afternoons where I was saying, "Oh, better make a video." And I did. I didn't miss one. And then it just started, yeah, it just started to become what I did. And
Mhm.
really that's
Yep.
what has to happen, is it has to become one of your habits. It
Yeah.
just, like,
Yeah.
oh, you brush your teeth, you made a video.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I know at the beginning it seems so daunting and
Mhm.
so awful. And trust me, it was so awful. And but I don't lose any challenges, especially ones I set for myself. So that's why I did it.
Yeah, I
And it
love
worked.
that. And I applaud you for that as well. And I need to get back to that because that's kind of how I got started. I challenged myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this for this month or for
Mhm.
a week or for, so I have to like kind of give myself deadlines
Right,
and
right.
kind of just, and that's how I kind of got started. Like I just started doing the videos and Now
And it got easier.
yeah, it got easier. I mean, now this year I was challenging myself to do one reel a day. So I had to learn to shorten up everything because I was so long-winded. I
Right?
had to get it
Me
really
too.
short and concise. So now I got to still do mine for today. But that's kind of like my thing now. That's my goal for each day. Do I make it every day? No, but my
Right.
goal is to try for that. Um, but
Right.
yeah,
And if
there's
you didn't
go
you
ahead.
might get 5. If you didn't set that goal, you might get
Yeah.
5 months. But even if you miss a few days, now you're getting 20 and 25
Mm-hmm.
and 28, which
Yeah.
is far more than the 2 that you might have done had you not
Right.
set
Right.
that goal for yourself. But yeah,
And
go
if
go.
you miss a day and you fall off the wagon, it's not like don't beat yourself up. You just
Right.
start fresh the next day and go at it again.
Right.
So
Right.
it's not like don't shame ourselves into, oh my God, I missed it. I missed 2 days. No, you can always restart again at any moment in time.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
so it gets easier. There's a video guy out there. His name's Mark Harbert. Have you heard of him?
Oh, no, I haven't.
Oh, he's excellent. He says this. He goes, embrace the suck. Like
That's
he's like, yes, you're gonna
yep.
suck those first couple of videos
Yeah.
or whatever you're doing, or those
Mhm.
first couple speaking engagements, or those first couple of podcasts, or
Right.
those first couple of interactions you have with a new set of people, whatever. Yeah,
Mhm.
you're probably gonna fumble around and it's might be embarrassing, but just embrace that. It's just what
Right.
you have to do.
Yeah. And you do. And you just have to say, oh, well, I mean, it pushing myself to do the videos and get out there has changed the way I think about a lot of things in my world because I was so focused on doing it right, doing it
Mm-hmm.
perfectly, do everything. And now, and I'll tell you this because it's kind of funny, I sent out my first launch email for my course. It was my first email launch, and I used a different system to do it. And so I put in, hello, first name. It was supposed to be first name. Well, no, it didn't go out with hello, first name. It went out with hello, Stacy. Every single one of them.
Oh man.
Over 200 of them, in fact. And the old Stacy would have looked at that and went, "Oh my God, how am I going to fix this? What am I going to say? I should
Mhm.
send a different email. I should tell them that it was a mistake. I should resend it. I should do it." And the new Stacy said, "Oh well, I'm sending him another one tomorrow. I won't use the hello first name again." It just, but that's not what would have happened a couple of years ago,
Mhm.
or maybe even 6 months ago. So it's
Yeah,
just a matter of
I've had my struggles with
okay.
email as well. And I kind of appreciate getting an email where somebody will send a second one. They'll be like, oops, forgot to include the link or whatever,
Right. Right. That's a good tactic, by the way. But yeah, I just let it go and thought, oh well, they'll
You
look
know,
and be confused and it'll
I
be
mean,
okay.
but again, you're doing it. You're
Right.
taking the action. You're going forward despite that.
Right. Right. Because I sent out another 9.
So,
So,
and as the receiver, I'd be like, oh, that's kind of cute, like I know what happened,
right.
but
Right.
and if it's an embarrassing thing, you just admit to it. Yeah, I screwed that up. But trust me, I've been
Yeah.
with doing my own email thing as well for the last year, and yeah, I screwed up many, many times.
Doesn't matter. Right. Like it
But
doesn't matter because the
it-
message matters. And it goes the same with if you were going to speak on something. If you messed up the words, it doesn't matter. The message is what
mhm,
matters.
mhm.
So it didn't matter that they all said hello, Stacy on them. What mattered what was in it,
Right,
read
exactly.
it. And so yeah, we have to learn to let things go. And trust me, I'm still a work in
Oh
progress.
my, oh
Think
yeah,
that I'm
yeah.
just sitting here saying, oh yeah, no biggie,
No,
you can do a
I'm
video
glad
all
you
the time.
mentioned that because
Yeah,
it is a journey, it is a practice, it is a process. I think we all think we're all going to get there, that ultimate goal and everything's going to be perfect. and then we're going to stay there forever. And, no, yeah, we have our goals, we'll achieve them, but then there's another one. It's just a continual learning, growing process.
We're leveling up.
Yeah, we're leveling up. And I don't think I ever want to stop. I don't want to stop growing and expanding and learning, because I've seen relatives get to that point in their life and everything
Mhm.
started diminishing and contract. And yeah, it wasn't good.
Yeah, I probably won't ever retire
Hmm.
just because I love what I do.
Hmm.
And why would I stop doing that? I mean,
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
maybe, when I'm dead.
Yeah. 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 There's a happy, help it, boom. That's how I want to go. Like, that's it. Happy, healthy, boom. Um, so I guess one of the messages, because we've gone lots of places here, but
Uh-huh.
my takeaway is don't take ourselves so seriously.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
do it, take the action.
Right.
If you screw it up, you screw it up, ask for forgiveness or whatever, and just and don't be hard on ourselves. Just pick ourselves
Right.
back up and keep on going, because we have a
Right.
message to share.
And the only way to make it easier and to get over yourself is to do it again
Yes,
and
yeah.
again and again and again
Mm-hmm.
and again.
Mm-hmm. And again,
So
yeah, for sure. So
just do it.
just do it. So that's our call to action. Just do it. Even if it's gonna stink and it might feel uncomfortable, just do it, and then do it again and again and again
Yeah,
and again. And eventually it's not gonna be
process.
perfect, but you're gonna feel more comfortable and you won't care. So
That's right.
oh
You
well.
won't.
It went out to Stacy again. Oh
Oh well.
well.
Oh, 250 Stacys in my database. That
But they're
makes
not the Stacy
they
though.
are not the Stacy Mulligan.
Oh my God, I so love that. So let's repeat again how people can get a hold of you, Stacy, the Stacy. And if
Yes.
they want to learn more about you, become part of your world, check you out,
Yeah.
how can they do
So
that?
they can go to my website, the thestacymulligan.com. No E in my first name, but you'll have that down there somewhere, and they can read all about me. If you're a corporation watching this and you're looking for keynote speakers or trainers on disc, you can go to stacyspeaks.com, and that has more of my corporate side to it. So, yep.
Mm, that's great. That's why I called her the Stacy Mulligan, because I knew her website was
That's right.
thestacymulligan.com.
That's right. You got to do what you got to do.
You
That's
got to do
adapt and
what you got to
overcome.
do.
StacyMulligan.com was taken. What else would I do?
Oh, this has been so fun.
It
Thank you so
has.
much, Stacy. And
Thank you.
follow us both. Check us both out. Look for our other episode. Look for episodes of Evolving Women where I have other guest co-hosts. And the world is just such a beautiful place. I just love connecting with people through this platform and this format. And it's been an honor and a joy to have you here with me. So thank you so much,
Thank
Stacy.
you. It's been fun. We'll have to do this again. We'll
Oh,
have to do episodes 3 and 4, I think.
for sure. So thank you, Stacy. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. We so appreciate you being here. Bye-bye.
Bye.